Hi there, it's Jason Moore with round 1 of our daily event with White Weenie. We're playing against Space Jam, who is typically a Storm player, and we're on the play. And with this hand, we do have 2 spells we can cast, but we also have these Core Sky Fishers, which are going to slow us down, and only 1 land. So I am more likely to want to mulligan this, especially on the play. So we're going to go to 6 cards. And here we have a hand that is pretty much unplayable. There's no land in this hand. So we're unfortunately going to have to go to 5. We do see a Prismatic Strands, which would help us against him. But with no lands, there's not a lot we can do. And this 5-lander, or this 5-carder, excuse me, with 1 land is pretty abysmal. I don't know that it would be better to go to 4 at this stage of the game, but considering the fact that he kept his 7 cards means that we're probably not going to have a good chance of winning this. It does have a Prismatic Strands, which could save us, but we need to draw 2 lands in order for that to be possible. So the choice is to go to 4 or to keep this 5. I think I'm actually going to go to 4 here. And that's because I tend to lean on the side of mulliganing, even when there's a difficult choice like this. I tend to lean on the side of mulliganing, and I think our best chance to win the game is going to be with 4 cards rather than 5. And so this is what we're going to keep. We actually can play some of these spells and maybe race here. So we're not going to mulligan, and we're going to get this game underway. We're going to lead with this 1-drop. Hopefully we draw a land so we can just equip next turn. And he is playing Storm, as usual. Let's see what we draw here. It's going to be very tough to win this one. He actually decides to play a Lotus Petal as well. And he's actually just going off right now, which is going to be very difficult to beat. A turn 1 combo is just going to tear us to shreds. So it looks like he's going to be playing Empty the Warrens here. And he's just got a million guys. We don't really have any outs to this, but we'll play it out. Maybe we get to see a little more of his deck. We're going to go ahead and play the Bone Splitter out. We'll just go ahead and pass. We'll trade the Javelineer for 2 tokens. And we'll see what happens. It's possible next turn he's going to just bushwhacker us out of the game. But otherwise, we get to draw this out a little bit. Maybe he'll misclick a couple times. Maybe we see 1 or 2 cards out of his deck additionally. But I don't think there's any real merit to staying in the game. I just think it's a slightly better option than straight conceding. So here we're going to take 4, 8, 12 and go to 8, and then we're not going to really have anything else to do. So if he attacks us with everybody, we are going to die. 4, 8, 10. So we'll go ahead and concede game 1, a very fast game 1. He actually comboed right away. And this is a good friend of ours. He's in our clan, Pauper Gnomes. So can't feel too bad about taking this game 1 loss, but we are going to try and do pretty well at the end of game 2 and 3. So let's go to our sideboard here. What we're going to want to do is cut our creature removal in the form of Journey to Nowhere. And we're going to want to, I believe, cut Squadron Hawk as well, because it's not as powerful of a threat. If you don't have a Bone Splitter, this card is not going to be too good for us. And the fact that it draws us more threats is not as relevant in this matchup. So what we want to do is bring in Prismatic Strands in order to negate Grape Shot, as well as Benevolent Unicorn, which also negates Grape Shot and provides a threat. And then we have Suture Priest to nullify the effectiveness of Empty the Warrens. It's going to cause him to lose a lot of life. And since we have 1 slot left, we're going to bring in this Aven Rift Watcher, which is going to allow us to gain a little bit more life, might slightly put us out of Grape Shot range. So we do have more 3-drops now, But overall, I think our deck is better suited for combating Storm, and this is about as good as we're going to get it. So let's go ahead and submit. Welcome to Game 2 against Space Jam playing Storm. And we have a hand that is a bit borderline for me. It doesn't have anything that interacts, and it doesn't have a one-drop creature. It does have a Bone Splitter, which is going to help us race, but I don't think it's quite fast enough to get there, even on the play, because we're not going to be attacking him until our turn 3, and even though we're going to attack for 4, it's not quite good enough, and we want to mulligan against a Storm deck to try and hit some of our sideboard cards, so we are going to go to 6. And this hand we are going to keep. It is a 1-lander, but we have 3 spells we can cast. We also have 2 power 1-drops, and we have an interactive sideboard card. So we're not going to mulligan this. It's possible that he's going to be able to kill us with Grape Shot, but because we have War Falcon, we're going to be able to attack his life total fairly quickly here. So we do not draw a land, so that means we're going to have to play Doomed Traveler in order to attack with the War Falcon, attack his life total, and give him very little time to try and combo off. So it might be the case that he's going to be able to combo next turn. Fortunately, we do draw the Suture Priest, so I'm going to play the Suture Priest post-combat and hope that he will not have the potential to kill us with Grape Shot, or possibly even to kill the Suture Priest and then go off. So let's do it like this. And this is his turn 3. He's actually not going to combo yet, and we do have a Prismatic Strands in hand. So we have 2 choices here. We have the option of playing Core Skyfisher and War Falcon, or we can play the Veteran Armorer, which will protect the Suture Priest from at least 1 copy of Grape Shot. I think we actually want to put more creatures on the board, however. We're going to attack him for 4, it takes him to 11, then we put 4 more power on the board, which forces him to have to go off essentially that turn. Now, if we do play the Armorer, it protects the Suture Priest from things like, well, whatever the 1 damage ping is. I don't think he actually plays that. I believe it's called Lava Dart. But since I don't think he's playing that, and the Suture Priest is only going to protect from 1 copy of Grape Shot, I think I am going to play the Skyfisher War Falcon, which will also gain us a couple life. Not completely irrelevant there. So let's go ahead and do that. So with the Core Skyfisher, we're going to bounce the planes to our hand, which will allow us to play the War Falcon. So it's been pretty fortunate for us, this 1-land hand that we kept. We were able to do quite a bit with it, thanks to our number of 1-drops in the deck, as well as the Core Skyfisher that we drew into. And if we draw a land next turn, we're obviously very safe with Prismatic Strands in hand. Now he's going to attempt to combo off. So he starts with an Ideas Unbound. We're going to go ahead and F6, and he's going to try and kill us here. He's all in on this, and he's very well versed in using this deck. So this is why he's able to proceed with these actions very quickly. Now, if he messes up or he's unable to effectively combo kill us, then we're going to be victorious. It's pretty much all it comes down to. If he does not draw what he needs, he's going to lose. The Ideas Unbound will force him to discard 3 cards, in addition to him being dead on board with his low life total. So this is pretty much it for him, and for us, that is, if he is able to successfully combo and get his storm count up enough. I'm not going to waste time casting or counting the number of cards he has. He actually does have a Flaring Pain here, and he seems confident, so I think he might actually have an adequate number of Grape Shots to kill us with. He pitches some lands to the Faithless Looting, and he needs to have a Metamorphose or he won't be able to do it here. Shred Memory, but does he have the mana? Sign in Blood. Okay, I think we've got the victory here. I don't really see him coming back. His mana is depleted, so it looks like we're going to win. And we do win the game. So we're going to game number 3. We're going to be on the draw. So as far as game 3, I don't really think there's anything for us to take out. It is going to be a little bit difficult for us because he can combo off that much quicker. And if we don't have a unicorn or, you know, these other sideboard cards in hand, it's going to be very tough for us. But as far as sideboarding, I think we're just going to keep it like this. So welcome to game number 3. And we were able to take game 2 with a marginally risky one-land hand, but it had enough in there to be successful, and it was fast enough to give us a shot. So now we're going to be on the draw. And again, we're going to have to mulligan rather aggressively. Let's just check on our opponent here. I think I might have a connection problem, but perhaps not. Our opponent may be double queued or maybe away from the computer at this moment. But really what this matchup comes down to is racing, trying to attack the opponent's life total as quickly as possible. Let me just check here. We are still connected, so we're waiting on the opponent, and this hand is immaculate. So we're not going to mulligan, we're going to keep. As long as he doesn't combo off on his turn 2, I think we have a great chance of winning. Now, the only decision we really have to make is whether or not we want to play Suture Priest or Benevolent Unicorn first. And I think we're actually going to play Benevolent Unicorn if he doesn't combo right here. And it looks like he is going to combo. So, oh, he was just looking for a land. So I think, as I mentioned, we're going to play the Unicorn first. It's kind of hard to say. I do feel like his deck is capable of killing us with Empty the Warrens. However, a Suture Priest won't really save us in that regard, so we're going to go ahead and play Benevolent Unicorn now. And next turn we'll go with the Suture Priest, and hopefully that will lock him out, which I think it might. Yeah, we're just going to go ahead and play the Suture Priest and pray that he does not have any answers, because he's going to spend a lot of his life total storming off, and then the Suture Priest will also take a healthy chunk of his life total down. So we've just got to hope that he cannot beat us with our current board presence. We have a second Suture Priest. So the option is whether we want to play the Armorer or the Suture Priest. And if we play the Suture Priest, our board pretty much scoops to something like Shrivel, also Echoing Decay. The Veteran Armorer gets the Benevolent Unicorn out of Echoing Decay range, which is very important. But the second Suture Priest will punish him extremely hard with an Empty the Warrens. So considering the fact that we have 2 Prismatic Strands in hand, I'm a little more interested in playing the Veteran Armorer at this stage of the game. And then from there we can go ahead and attempt a second Priest. So we're going to play this, gain a life. And I'm not positive that this is the correct play, but I think it may in fact be. It's very hard to say. There's only so many cards we can play around, and this looks like an Impulse to me. It might actually be an Echoing Truth, which would also basically screw us over. He taps 2 mana, but then doesn't use it, so that seems like strictly a misplay. And we have 5 power on the board, and essentially no way for him to kill us. So we're going to attack him for 5, We do have Prismatic Strands available. So the question is, do we want to leave up Prismatic Strands, or do we want to play out another threat? And for now, I think we're going to leave up Prismatic Strands. This will force him to kill the Benevolent Unicorn and kill us. We may even leave up one creature to flash back the Prismatic Strands. However, attacking him for 5 will make the clock... It actually doesn't make it any faster than attacking him for 4. So I'm not sure what I want to do here. I may end up attacking for 5. Either way, he would be dead to a Bone Splitter, so I guess attacking him for 4 is the correct way to go. I will attack for 4, leaving up flashback with Prismatic Strands. Pretty obvious, but we'll see. Now he's continuously removing counters here. He's going to try and go off. But I don't think he's going to be able to deal with the board currently. We'll have to see. I mean, he might have the Echoing Decay for our Suture Priest, and then he can empty the Warrens. However, we can race with these 2 Prismatic Strands. I believe we'll be able to race him, because he needs to attack us with those creatures. So he's going to basically see his entire deck, which may spell doom for this Suture Priest here. He did bring in Flaring Pain, we saw that, but we didn't see any way for him to remove Suture Priest. So now he's plotting out how can he go about beating us here. And once again, we do have Prismatic Strands, so even if we lose Suture Priest, it's not necessarily the end of the world. It'll be extremely difficult to win from there, but if we can find a flyer or something, we may actually be able to stay in the fight. He's adding blue, so he might have another Ideas Unbound. So he's seeing a huge amount of his deck here. Now using some black, this may actually be to remove one of our creatures. He's going to Gitaxian Probe us, see that we have a pair of Prismatic Strands. He's on 8 cards. Another Chromatic Star. Shred Memory, so he might be able to find an Echoing Decay at this stage. Which even if he found it, okay, Ideas Unbound. Very interesting. So he must already have a way to deal with the Suture Priest from what I can tell. So let's just see. He already cast the Ideas Unbound. Pitching some lands. Going to 2. 7 cards in hand. He can flashback this Faithless Looting here. But does he have a way to stop our sideboard? There's the flashback. 6 cards left, 5. Really making a show of it. He knows our entire hand, so if he's still trying to combo off, Shred Memory again. This time to deal with the Suture Priest, I'd imagine. Looking at his library, does he have something that can stop us? Did he bring in Echoing Decay? Did he bring in a Doomblade, a Lightning Bolt, something? Manamorphose. Okay, he doesn't seem worried. So he's still going off. 5 cards now. A land, 4 cards. And we win the match. So let's look at his hand. He had 3 Grape Shots and a Lotus Petal. So our sideboard really pulling it out for us. We take round number 1 in a difficult matchup. I hope you guys enjoyed, and we'll see you for the next round. Thanks.